y'all, it's season 3 of the Be Your Own Kind podcast, and we humbly thank you for tuning in. Be Your Own Kind's mantra is there is never an inopportune time to be yourself. In other words, be you without apologies. In this season, I will be presenting nuggets and interviewing individuals that are creating their lane and rocking it. Be sure to check out the featured businesses in the description box and follow us on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and pretty much every platform. Okay, now let's take flight. Hey, lovelies. This is Renita, BYOK, and this is another quick little chat. It's BYOK chat on YouTube, and it's a mini-sode on the the audio version. So, I know you're like, did you entitle this Another Be Your Own Kind? Yes, I did. But I entitled it Unscripted, right? Because normally when I do these chats and these talks, I write out my thoughts. So it can be, a little bit, organized and things of that sort. But lately I have had some experiences where I like the fact that sometimes it's good to be unscripted. Sometimes it's good to not plan out what you're going to say, and sometimes the heart just needs to speak. So I decided that when I have these chats, they will be more just from the heart, just heart to heart chats. Because everything else, I write on the blog, and like on other episodes of my podcast, I have like a sort of a structure. It's not that much of a structure, but it's questions and things of that sort. And so I kind of just want to have a platform where I can just talk a little freely here. So if you have viewed some of my past videos about why I started BYOK, I always said I felt defective, and I always said I felt like I was a mistake. Recently, I feel like those are some powerful words, right? I am pretty much accusing God of making a mistake with bringing me here, or making me be, letting me be in existence. And as we know, for those that believe in God, that He doesn't make any mistakes. Everything He does is purposeful. Everything He does is intentional. So anytime that a person may feel like they are a mistake, or a person may feel like they are defective, that is clearly incorrect, and that is clearly words of the enemy. I am supposed to be here, and I'm supposed to be here for a reason, and I'm supposed to be like I am because this is how He made me, and He knew my life before I did, or in things to come before I do. So anything that I go through today is just to make me stronger for a better tomorrow. And I feel like Be Your Own Kind is just not like, waking up in the morning and say, yes, this is me, hear me roar. It's just embracing who you are. Like a very wise person said, it's just embracing the light and the dark, of yourself. There are things that we don't love about ourselves, but there are things that we embrace about ourselves, and whatever those things may be, it all composes of us, just loving all of us and being able to accept who we are while still growing, and holding ourselves accountable when we do make mistakes, or holding ourselves accountable when we do awesome. Like, just like that goes both ways. Like, accountability is just not when you're like, oh man, I shouldn't have ate that cake. But I think accountability is also accepting, like, hey, I ate an apple today instead of that cake. Like, patting yourself on the back. Like, and I know that mainly we use the word affirmations when we do things like that, but I feel like it's just affirming, which is, in the sense, in my mind, holding ourselves accountable for doing something great. For sticking to our goal, for sticking to our vision. That is what Be Your Own Kindness. It's not perfection. Because on this road to self-discovery, there are tons of bumps and cracks and crevices, all because we really just don't know what we're doing. Like, we've only lived once. Like, we're only whatever age we are one time, right? So we're gonna always be finding our way, or trying to arrive, and and want to be more and want to fix this and want to alter that and want to embrace that because that's just life, and even in the midst of us trying to, look in ourselves and quote unquote fix ourselves, life has these unexpected events that just like poof, it just comes out of nowhere, and it's like, oh wait, but I had to do this, and now we have deaths, and now we have just unspeakable things that happen that kind of throw us off our path. And then that's okay, because then that is when we show ourselves grace and we show ourselves mercy and we give ourselves a benefit of the doubt. um I think it's just all about learning who we are and being okay with who we are, because when you know who you are, it's very hard for someone else to convince you otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Like if someone's like, "Well, you da da da," yeah, I may be, but I'm working on it. Like I feel like sometimes people that we've known for a long time, they know our past, they know our highs, they know our lows, and they know how to just keep bringing it up. And it's fine if you want to live in the past and you don't want to embrace the change or embrace my efforts, then that's kind of on them, right? That's kind of their problem, right? Because just because a person is keeping you in the past, in their mind, don't mean you have to go back there, and don't mean you don't have to stay there. This is a personal journey. Like it's collective, as a community, but we are individually dealing with individual things, and we're all going to react to things differently. We're all going to process differently, and that is the whole purpose of, I don't know, of life, in my opinion. It's great to have a support system, but in a support system, I feel like we need to make sure that support goes both ways. Even if it's just a small thing of just reaching out to someone and seeing how they're doing, or I have a friend that sends me funny videos, and I have a friend that that's always like, she's like, "Hey, we're only allowed to have an episode," and I love when she says that, because sometimes I'm just like, I don't know, just going on and on and on and obsessing about something that won't even matter like the next minute. I think I'm veering off the subject. This is why I write things down. But my whole point is like, if you're being you, there are no rules, there are no expectations, there are nothing to prove. You're just being you, and I feel like things flow more naturally when you are being you and when you're just allowing you to happen. We have to remember that be is a standalone verb. We place other verbs behind it, but it is a standalone verb. It can stand on its own. Just to be speak volumes. Once we can get comfortable with that be, then I feel like then we can add everything on. But just to be and to exist and just to embrace who we are without judgment, which I mean like judging ourselves. Because I feel like I can sometimes be my worst critic. I feel like I can be my worst enemy. I feel like people outside, like besides myself, praise me more than I praise myself. And that's not cool, because I'm with me all the time. So if I'm with myself 24/7 and my self-talk is negative, then I'm negatively affected. You ever thought about that? Like when you're speaking death into your life, you can technically do that all day, because you're with you all day. You do not separate from you at all. You're always with you. And if you're gonna love the one you with, you should start with self. I feel like when you start to love and embrace yourself, that kind of permeates into other relationships, right? Because when you feel comfortable and you have realized your triggers, and you have realized, your boundaries, and you have realized, your defense mechanisms, whatever, when you have realized yourself fully, then there's a sort of like subtleness, like that's a sort of peace, right? Because you're at least comfortable with who you are and what you discover, which makes you therefore comfortable with others. I always find that people that are comfortable with themselves, they always attract people, because people are just they it's like you get what you see. It's not a mystery. You are who you are, and you're okay with that, so that makes other people be okay with that. It's like a domino effect in a sense. But I am reaching my limit, but I just want you all to know that you are okay just the way you are. Be easy on yourself. If you are reaching for perfection, please stop, because you're not going to reach that. If you are looking to arrive, you may think you have arrived for the 5 seconds, and then you realize, like, man, I still got a long way to go. We never stop learning. We never stop evolving. Even when we want to block change, one thing that will not change is that you're going to age, and time is going to pass you by. So even if you want to stay in that sector, it's something in your life that is going to change whether you like it or not. So why not just flow with that change, embrace that change, and embrace the fantastic person that is you. And until next time, don't forget to be kind to each other, and don't forget to be kind to yourself, because as I say, you are the most fantastic person that you are ever going to meet. I can promise you that. And I'll talk to you next week. Bye.